Well, I freaking did it. 12 weeks of lunchtime every Thursday. A waste of time. I said I would get my full analysis. I was planning to do this 3 episodes in, like I usually do, because I have my 3 episode rule. But instead, after seeing some comments on the original video, I was like, okay, fine. I will finish this until it's done, and then I'll get my final thoughts on it. Here we are. And my mind still hasn't changed. In fact, I'm even more disappointed. I know there are people who like this. There are people out there who have the audacity to say, well, this is the only good thing about this anime season. I'm like, what? Really? You kidding me? A sense of a bookworm, Kaguya, seeing yesterday to me, My Life is a Villainess, Glipnir. There's a lot of good anime out this spring, and you dare say that it's the best thing you've seen? Drop Kick on My Devil, even though they released all the episodes at once, was still considered spring anime, and that was good. Drop Kick on My Devil. Go watch that. That is hilarious, by the way. What angers me about this is so generic. It's so plain. It is so boring. And when does it get interesting? At the very end. When does it get a good story? At the very end. When does the main character get some development? At the very freaking end of the series. At the end. So I'm going to try to break this down by story, characters, animation, and my final thoughts. So let's start with story. The story, there is no story. There's no motivation. There's no true plot. It shows the world of nobles, barely. It's all over the place sometimes. Arcs are completely rushed, sometimes within one episode. So you have no joy to watch or look forward to any arc, but it's done just like that. So let's go in with it. Start off with this salaryman who comes home, and yes, I'm repeating some stuff from last video, but I gotta do it anyways. So I don't know how long this is gonna be. So if you stay here to the end, I commend you. So anyways, salaryman coming home. He seems to know how to cook. He makes food. He prays over the food. He blinks. Next you know, he's a little kid. At a wedding ceremony, eating fine food and seeing one of his brothers being married. What? How do you jump that to that? How? Why? No explanation. Nothing. It's just there. Why? The kid thinks he has an easy life, till he finds out it's all an illusion. Turns out he's the 8th son, and the family isn't really that big within the noble society. Okay. At least we get to know the family members. Nope. We don't get to see barely know any of the family members, even to the very end. You know nothing really about them. You only really know is 2 brothers. One brother you hang out with, just help him out because he's so pathetic, I guess. The other one comes off as a 2-dimensional, dastardly villain. Pathetic, dastardly villain. No development, nothing at all. If they show this throughout the show of the oldest son and the 8th son, his name is Will, by the way, in their contrast, in their conflict throughout the show, that would have been good. We don't get that. In fact, you forget about the character until the very end. The last 3 episodes. It's terrible. So, the kid realizes he's the 8th son. And he can read. Somehow the books are in Japanese. Next, he tries to find this orb. And he gets summoned to find this mage, this very powerful legendary mage, who has who has a curse on him, and he wants to pass down his magic, so he teaches well succeeds easily in a short amount of time. Then he has to finish off his master. He wishes to become an adventurer to get out of the way of the older brother. Fine. He goes to his academy, but he doesn't want to be overlooked. He wants to stay undercover. But this dumbnut doesn't know the meaning of subtlety. If you don't want to be overlooked, if you don't want people to think about you as some powerful being, keep it on the down low. That's all you had to do. But you don't do this. Instead, it's like every time there's a mission or assignment, he overdoes everything with this dumb dents on his face. Did I do this right? Did I do too much? And then everyone's looking at you like you're this amazing person, and you're isolated by everyone because your idiot self decided to overachieve at everything, knowing the outcome of it every time. This is something that a lot of isekais do, where you have this grown-ass man who is isekai, and for some reason, when he becomes into the new world, he is a total dense idiot. You're probably in your late 20s or 30s when you're in your real world, and you're here for some reason you lost all your common sense. You lost all your knowledge. You lost all that? Really? Jesus Christ, you should have some life experiences by now. You're in a salary company. You have a lot of responsibility when you're an accountant. One mistake could screw over the company. You have that mentality, but he doesn't. He doesn't have that. In fact, there's no personality to this guy at all. He didn't develop until the very freaking end of the show. But even then, that was terrible development. No explanation why he's here. So he's there. He joins up with a crew. He's on his way to meet some nobles. And then he defeats the dragon. Because, hey, your magic's strong enough. Fight the dragon because you're a kid. No one else can do it. Defeat the dragon. Presses the king. Gets high status. He is then all of a sudden out of nowhere thrown into a marriage. With a chick he barely knows. No chemistry. But that's character part. I'm on story. He finally he want to be an adventurer to meet a party, but you never see them go on any adventures. You don't see them do any guild work. When they do once. The dungeon. But even then, that was boring. They do a little tournament, but that was terrible too. You don't get to see the tournament. The worst kind of tournaments are the ones you don't get to see. All is the end results. Only show that, oh, okay, he's good at magic, but without magic, he's completely weak. Except for one character on the team. But that's it. You don't get to see it. Other than that, he's just miraculously getting himself involved in all these other situations without even thinking about putting his input. Just immediately saying yes. Because Japan loves writing these boring MC characters where it's just, they're just a complete yes man walkovers every freaking time. Okay. After the dungeon part, he meets a chick. Do we get no more about her? Nope. All we know is that she likes to eat a lot. That's all we know. Does she get to do anything action-y? Nope. She is characters, just for character part. Finally, the last 3 episodes were at least a bit interesting. He goes there, he helps out by the undead. And then, because he was there for 1 day, all of a sudden people want him to be the Lord instead of the older brother, even though he's only there for 1 freaking day. Okay, sure, why not? Clearly the motion is, oh, that brother's bad, clearly the other brother's bad. I know it's bad thinking, but that's normal thinking. So he tries to bribe the other people around the brother, which he does, which is pretty smart. Then at the end, you don't even have this amazing battle. You purify him, and that's it. Nothing. No good battles, no cool fight scenes, nothing. You finish how long it takes him to defeat the brother? Less than 10 minutes. Oh my god, this anime's terrible. It's terrible. And then he wants to have 2 statuses so he can give to the older brother's wife's children. Cool. Are the children torn up about the father's death? They don't seem like it. Your dad just died, and they up here playing sword sticks and all happy and shit. Your dad died. Where's the crying tears? Where's at least a hint of malice? You're a child. All you know is that that guy killed your brother. There is no good emotion. Okay, you know, I'm going straight into characters because the story was terrible. Straight into characters. I'm already past the 10-minute mark, man. You already know we are in for a ride. I'm already past 10 mark. Fuck. The characters. Like I said, William is a terrible character. No lack of motivation, no reason of being here. What's the point of this even being an isekai in the first place? I don't see the purpose or point of it. Okay, I would understand if he had a very terrible life and he wishes that he was given a higher status and he thought he would have it easy going. Then he dies, gets to the other world, and then he thought things would be easy for him, but it won't, realizing nobles have their own hard take on it. He learns a valuable lesson that no matter what part of society you're in, you're going to have to struggle no matter what. That would have been nice, but we don't get that. We get a story with no explanation, with no character motivation whatsoever. How about the other characters? Let's start off with his first three friends. I can't remember their names. Blue hair girl, the only dude on the team, and the pink hair girl. Blue hair girl and pink hair girl have no personalities. Besides, blue hair girl being the tomboyish out one and pink hair girl is following along. I think his name is. The blonde dude is the only good character. The first good character. Well, the mentor. I like the mentor. The mentor is cool. He's a really good guy with a bunch of secrets. He's a veteran magician. I would love more about his backstory, but we don't get it. When he's on scene, things are interesting because he acts like this guy who knows what's going on and he gives out good advice. I like him, but it's not about him. Then you have the only guy on the team besides the main character. Now, this is his own personal hell. Think about it. Imagine you are on a team that you spend most of the joy of your life with a dude, and you spend it with all his wives. I believe all the girls on the team are the main character's wives, or one's the wife and the rest are concubines. But the other way, they're all his. Imagine you were on that. You wake up every day. You're hanging out with all their wives. Sure, friends and all, but dude, you get the generic best friend trope in these harems. It's where the main character is all the girls without no good personality, but for some reason all the girls want him. But then you actually have a character with good personality, interesting story, great motivation, but yet he gets the slap jaw. Do you know why pink hair girl and blue hair girl want to become concubines to the main character, Will? Because they didn't want to take orders from him. They didn't want to take orders from the blonde hair guy. That is the only reason why they want to become part of this, according to the anime. I believe there was more when I was reading. I read the manga, and I'm up to date with the manga, but I hadn't read the novels. Either way, it's terrible. That's the only reason why. He is thrown immediately into a marriage and doesn't hang out. For some reason, the girls are in love with him, even the dude has such a plain personality. Such a terrible personality. It's not terrible, it's boring. It's plain. But yet, she's in love with him for some reason. See no chemistry with any of the characters. They're just there on for a ride. In fact, they barely do anything. They barely even see them fight. Will does all the work. They don't do anything. At first, it was interesting. They want to join in because he was also the son, like an outcast, and they were outcasts, part of their own families as well. But it completely drops that. In fact, now I'm thinking about it, every time there's an interesting plot that's about to happen in this show, they immediately drop it. Like, oh snap, we get a conflict. Solved. All this about to happen? Solved. On to the next one. Everything is solved so quickly and easily. No challenge. But man, I thought you should like a character wins and triumphs. Yes. At least has the struggle. Shows the development, the courage. Most of the time, these things are just coming and doing anything with it. It's boring. It's poorly executed and uninteresting. Is the only character I like out of the team. Why? Because he's the only one who can't use magic. Everything, all the complicated stuff gets pulled on him. He becomes a part of the party only because the main character didn't want to deal with all the complicated stuff, so he dumped it onto him. He takes everyone's crap, and then during the tournament, he gets the only character development in the entire series, true character development. Only one. And his is pretty okay, actually. He wants to prove that he can go far without using magic, which he can. Because if you compare the others, the ones who always, especially the two girls, are always looking down on him, they didn't do anything about magic. I laugh. And even though we don't get to see the tournament or them barely fighting, I least enjoyed it. And that was the only true good episode out of the entire series. It only has one good episode, and it's when it's about the blonde-head guy. Oh my god. Ugh. Damn, I'm not even done yet. And last but not least of the character, we have Wilma. I think her name was Wilma. The girl who stalks them around, but she has no development. She just shows up like, I guess she's following around to see whether or not she can load them to eat. Here's the thing. The father wants to put her with someone where she can be well fed because she takes in a lot of mana because she's super strong. You could have been done this with anyone. You have a lot of rich people there who could have fed her all she wanted. But I guess because Will serves the best food, and because of that, she wants to be with him. Okay, cool. She seems interesting. She seems characteristic. But no, she's a repetitive, tedious gag. She sees a food she likes, and she says it over and over and over again. You don't get to see her fight. You don't get to see her use her giant axe. Like, that would be nice to see. You don't get to see her do it. All she does is eat. Talk about what she wants to eat next. She doesn't do anything. She has no purpose, no reason of being here. Why are you here? She has no development whatsoever. Why? Why are most of them here? None of them don't do anything, really. William does all the work. Besides the guy friend and the actual first wife, everyone else is irrelevant. Oh, sorry, it's true. Next, with the other characters that you see, and there's actually one character that I actually like better than most of the characters in the show. It is the green-haired. In the beginning, where he enters the capital, there's this green-haired guy named Rodrich who's spinning his spear because he wants to be part of Will and his whatever Will is doing. He makes him as this pathetic character that just spins his spear all day, and no one takes him seriously. Until my favorite episode, the tournament episode, where he actually beats the girl on their team with the spear. He's actually really good. Holy snap. Like, he wasn't just a terrible gag comedy thing. He actually had something. And when he does become part of the party, he is by far the most useful, the most knowledgeable. And when you hear just a couple of sentences of his backstory, I'm already more intrigued with him. I would love to see some of his backstory. That's right. You know you've done wrong where your minor character is more intriguing than the entire cast of your main characters. You know you did wrong. He also invites, so there's only 3 characters I like in this show. The mentor guy, who's the veteran magician, the only guy on the party team, and finally Rodrich. That is it. Those 3 characters, and those 3 characters barely get any true screen time. So you got Dill Will and his constant not knowing what he's doing. Next, it's the other characters and how they react to situations. Even when situations are bad, the way they react is terrible. For instance, one of his brother's wives. Apparently, her father or grandfather has become a zombie. Instead of acting depressed about it, she's all like, "Oh, will you please help him?" Just all happy about it. You're probably depressed. Like, "Please save my father. Please put him to rest. He's become a zombie. Please put him out of misery." Depressed, but instead she's smiling about it and shit like that. And then when it does happen, now she's sad. Poor execution. I will go back to the children, the older brother's children. They not sad when the father died. They're still practicing magic and playing swords like nothing's happening. Like they're completely oblivious that their dad died. When I was a kid, I knew people around me that died. I was completely shattered and sad. I knew I was going to see them again. I was that upset about it. We don't get this with them. Well, the mom, the older brother's wife, actually does a good role how desperate she acts in order to keep her children safe, which is pretty good. But sadly, we don't get much of her either. This show is just, ugh. Next, the culture. Instead of, yeah, they focus on noble stuff, the thing I hate that a lot of isekais love to do in Japan is bring the Japanese culture to that world. Mainly food. When you're watching a show, for some reason, some language is in Japanese, which is complete rubbish. Then you see Will using chopsticks. Just use a fork and a spoon. You're in that world to adapt to it. The fact that no one sees it weird that he's using chopsticks. The food that he cooks. I don't care how good it is. The problem is that when you usually serve someone foreign food that's cooked differently than what you're used to cooking, I don't care how good it is, it has a terrible reaction to you. You start to feel sick, nauseous, you start to vomit it because your body isn't adapted to that kind of food source. That's what makes no sense to me. He brings in soy sauce, he brings in sushi, all this stuff. And the fact that they show it how everyone just likes it immediately is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It would be nice if he tried to get used to their food. See, look, there's a scene in Mushoku Tensei, Volume 15, where Aisha, one of Rudius' sisters, finally made rice balls. Just rice balls. She finally made it. Rudius was happy. So he had everyone try it out and eat it. No one liked it but him. In fact, most of the times where he would try to make Japanese food, he would try to make it, he, in serve it to other people would not like it that much. So, or when they did, they thought it was okay. But other than that, why I keep comparing every isekai to Mushoku Tensei? Because Mushoku Tensei is the standard, okay? It is what other isekai should try to at least nearly become. But no, they don't. So that's one thing that takes me off is how so many isekai animes does this thing where you just ruin the culture of the isekai. What's the point of isekai? You're still trying to do Japanese stuff in it. You're in a Western world, okay? Stop trying to cook Japanese food in a Western world. It makes no freaking sense. It's supposed to be the character trying to adapt to the society itself, but instead you're trying to make everyone else adapt to your former society that you were once part of. God. Animation is dead awful. The reason why you see no fight scenes in this, despite how catchy the anime opening is, there are no fight scenes. Barely any fight scenes at all. Nothing. It is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Bad animation. Now, what else about this anime could I talk about? That's just terrible. This is what I would have done. And this is where I want to say it. And I want to say it now. It's always been on my mind. I feel like a lot of isekais shouldn't be isekais. I feel like if you take out the isekai aspect and just make it the story itself, it would have been just fine. Overlord is a perfect example for this to me. What if it was just a very powerful overlord who he's not really sure about what he's doing, but everyone else has confidence in him? It would have been fine just like that. It didn't need to be an isekai. Other ones too, like Reincarnate as a Sword, if you know what that one is, I feel like it didn't mean an isekai. If it's about an isekai and has no self-reflecting of the former world, I don't see the point of it. Wise man grandchild, Kanji no Mango. It didn't need to be an isekai. They could have worked on that story that you had right then and there. But No. I think an isekai today, for most people in Japan that they write, is just self fantasy where you are a loser in your own world, but you go to the other world where you get a lot of powers, you get a lot of chicks, and plus you take inventions that you didn't invent, but you get the credit for by going over there. It's just a loser's wet dream, I guess, is what it is today. There are some that are good, but these generic ones, it's just a loser's wet dream, and it sucks. Okay. I like being best and going to another world and feel good about myself, but not like this. It's just absolutely terrible. Like, gosh, you gotta go to another world and get powerful in order you become. But are you a better person? Did you develop? No, you didn't. This is how I would have done the Eighth Son. No isekai aspect. None. Why didn't he be an isekai? There's no point. What if it was just a kid who was born into this family and he realizes he is the youngest son, and because of this, he realizes he's not going to have it good growing up because everything else is already taken by the other 7 siblings. You get to know these siblings throughout the chapters. So he's trying to prove himself. So he's trying to learn magic. He's trying to train with the sword, but it isn't going that well. Until one day he's out in the forest trying to look up some ingredients for home because one of his brothers or father told him to do so. He gets attacked by a magical beast or an animal, and he is saved by that magician, his master. He talks with the boy, and the boy talks about his troubles. So the master teaches him. He does this because he wants to pass down his wisdom and knowledge to someone before the curse takes over him. He trains in secret. And it'll be cool if the brothers are suspicious and they try spying on him, but it doesn't work. Then, the time comes when he learns everything he needs to know. The master reveals his secret, and the boy purifies him. The boy goes on to become an adventurer. He doesn't try to do the oblivious, overachieve everything, but instead meets his friends there at the school. They go and train and do some missions. But then as time goes on, they can easily build a reputation. And then they fight the dragon together. Okay? Then they go to the capital. And then the rest can write itself. See how easy that was? See how easy that was. Or you could make an isekai about a guy who doesn't get what he wants in life, and he feels like, I said this before, but I'm going to say it again, but he feels like if he was born in rich noble status, he could easily get what he wants. But that reality comes shattering when he does get isekai and realize, he's in noble society, he is not that well off. Probably even worse. So he learned from there about the cruelty of nobles and what they have to go through, and what he has to do, things he will regret doing, and focus on that, and it moves up. That would be nice. Next thing, focus on the other characters. Make them go on their own little side story and train or do something that they're also conflicted with, and show them develop and grow as that as well. There you can already have a good isekai. Just like that. You see how easy it was to just change the story up. So easy to write this. Anyway, okay, write all the other details, the between the lines, all that stuff. Okay, that is hard. Executing it will be a challenge. But if you go to the drawing board and lay out the graphs, I'm pretty confident you'll come up with something good, better than this garbage before me. This was garbage, okay? Total trash. I know people here like this, but I don't. This is generic and terrible. This is worse than Kenja no Manga, and you know how much I hate Kenja no Manga. But at least it has some characters you're invested in. This has no characters to be invested in. This is god awful. I have a feeling there'll be more too. But hey, I'll talk about those too as well. Oh, god damn it. I probably should recommend you guys some isekais, actually, now that I think about it, that I have read that are actually pretty good. I'll probably do that next video. Tomorrow I'll look for one and I'll tell you about it and see how you guys feel about it as a must read. Or some oldies kind of animes. Well, anyways, that's all I got for this. Damn, it's already 30 minutes, man. I told you this was gonna be long. I told you. And now here we are. So I'm glad you guys who did stay this long, thank you. Because you did not have to, man. I know I would hear someone ranting. I'll probably put on background noise as I'm drawing or something or reading something. But, oh man, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking your time out. But tell me how you seriously thought about this anime now that it's over with. And those who read the novel, spoil me. Because I don't mind. Because I don't care about this anime. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit the bell icon. This has been Madcrown on Anime. Signing out.